I'll have to make my presentation in English, and there's a reason for that. My Spanish is terrible, so I wouldn't want to harm the beautiful language with terrible Portuñol, so I'll do it in English if you all excuse me.
Sí. Vamos a aguardar un minuto para que se cambien los traductores del inglés. Y quien necesita aparatos, hay aparatos afuera de traducción simultánea. Vale, se mueve.
Well, the idea of the presentation is to make an overview, a report of the means and reasons behind the National Broadband Plan of Brazil. The plan is yet too recent. Last year, September 25th, Broadband Task Force was established, and that task force drafted the broadband plan. I was a part of that task force, and only this year, on May this year, the plan was actually launched. And it's still under construction because it's a plan that recognizes that broadband plan is something that you don't finish. You have to build every year, and you have to have input from the society. In order for that to occur, on June this year, a forum of 60 entities was constituted to debate and improve the actions that were drafted for the plan and future actions that are needed, because the plan focused mostly on infrastructure issues, as you will see further on this presentation. And of course, something I have to mention is that this year was a troublesome year in Brazil because of presidential elections. So what happened this year happened under a heavy political turmoil during campaign of contestants, of presidential contestants, and thus it's very hard to assess yet what the plan has in terms of its reach in the population, how it is accepted by population, and as it was recently released, we can't yet assess if it will work or not. Why we decided to make the plan, why the task force designed the plan. So these are the data. Brazil has a low penetration, like most of Latin America, only 6%, 6.4% to be precise. That's the last number we have. And if you add mobile to that, it's only 8% penetration, the broadband in Brazil. We only added, that's an important issue, we only added 3G modems, the ones that stand apart like the little mouses, not smartphone penetration, because we believe that smartphones are not yet a solution that provides the full capability of internet. So, and the ones that do are too expensive. So we decided to focus only on what we believe it's a more comprehensive internet connectivity. The internet type of connection, you'll see that still lots of Brazilians use dial-up connection, which is not economically a good reason because it's more expensive and slower than broadband. So that's a problem, and we diagnosed that. Also, what we have in terms of broadband, it's not so broad. Only 2% of the connections are above 4 megabits per second. The distribution of technologies available is also an uneven distribution. Most technologies are available in the richer areas, the south, center-west, and southeast areas of the map. You can see that the red ones are the ones that have cable and ADSL. All others don't have cable connectivity, only wireless connectivity, and ADSL is the most available technology we have in terms, geographically speaking. Also, penetration rates tend to follow that same pattern over there. The red areas are the high penetration rate areas. The lighter areas, the lighter color areas, are the low penetration rates. Also, there was a great movement of mergers and acquisitions. There were plenty of players in Brazil, but those players concentrated on 5 big groups. 3 incumbent groups, the one of Oi and Brazil Telecom, and Telefónica and Embratel. Telefónica and Oi have a stronger position because they are local companies, and Embratel a somewhat weaker position because it's a long-distance company, and they have integrated their operations with mobile. And we have 2 contestant big groups, which is the one of TIM and of GVT, which was recently acquired by Vivendi. We have very high prices. The entry-level package of internet in Brazil costs 2.5 times what it costs in Mexico, 2.7 times what it costs in Russia, and 5 times what it costs in Japan. And in Japan, they offer a lot more of broadband than in Brazil for the same price. So it's not a very good index. Also, one study worth mentioning is one of JP Morgan. It showed the role of competition, where we have more than 3 operators, the price is X. Where you have only 1 operator, the price is 3 times higher. And there's a case actually argued before our antitrust authorities in which 2 municipalities of Rio de Janeiro have shown that difference in terms of price, that they are just a 30-minute drive away, and in one municipality the package which was taken for that specific case costs 110 reais, and at Rio it costs, the same package by the same operator costs 40 reais, and the difference, only difference you can see is the same geographics, the same network basically, and the reason for that arguably is that at Rio you have more operators. So the conclusion is the poorer are paying more for the same kind of service. What the plan decided to do, we devised three different challenges. The challenge of the urban rich, let's call them that, which is more speed. The challenge of the urban poorer, which is actually price. We have to make it cheaper. And the challenge of rural, which is coverage. And we divided that in 2 bottlenecks, wholesale and retail. In terms of wholesale, we included backhaul and backbone operations. The yellow dots are points of presence that were required by universal service obligations to be implemented as of this year. They will have to be implemented until the end of this year. The red ones already existed. So you see the regional inequality. If it were not for the universal service obligations, all that yellow region wouldn't be connected to backhaul from incumbent operators. And the policy wants to use a public network, a government-owned network, which will be operated by Telebras, to eliminate the middleman in terms of wholesale access. That's basically it. In terms of retail, what the plan decided was to speed up